This is Shutters Inc. with Bruce Williams and Glynn Lavender.
Hi, and welcome to episode 517 of Shutters Inc. This is Bruce Williams from shuttersincpodcast.com, and I am very, very tired. And on the other end of the line, the man
I'm sick.
Yeah.
So I'm sick and you're tired. We're sick and tired. We should have a whole new name.
That's right. Mr. Glynn Lavender, how are you?
You know, I'm not good. I'm off the docks tomorrow to get some tests done.
Oh, is it anything we need to be concerned about?
Possibly. I don't know.
Oh.
It's this way. It's one of those ones that you don't want to go to the doctor and have some tests done.
Oh.
Yeah, I've got to admit to being somewhat nervous.
Right. Well, we wish you well.
Well, if you don't hear from me again. In my will,
yeah,
I've left a few names for new podcast hosts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so just some recommendations for you.
Okay.
By recommendations, I mean I insist you take.
Right.
What we look for is someone with some personality points.
Right.
So a bit of life, a bit of zest about them. Yeah, because we're all sick of hearing this moaning bastard for so long. So,
right.
Yeah. No. So I've been unwell for a little while.
Oh, that's not good.
And it's progressing to a point where it's not good. So that's the typical male. I'll go away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think it's actually three things converging into one big thing. So it's like, so that's one of the bit. If you can fix one, maybe you can fix all.
Yeah, right.
But we'll be right. We'll be.
So that was it. That was the thinking behind it. It was like, I don't want to just go to the doctor for one thing. I'll save it up, bank a few, and then it makes it worthwhile.
It costs money and time to go to the doctor.
There you go.
Just if you can bulk problems, get them all done under one. Fabulous. I was waiting for the even half dozen, but I thought, no, now I can't walk anymore. Maybe.
It's called efficiency.
I am looking. I just to prove that I'm still looking forward and thinking I've got a future. I bought a tent yesterday.
Oh, right. Okay.
This thing's so big. It's got its own LED light panels built into it.
Oh my God.
So it's just 3-room. I mean, I'm never going to do anything that's not ostentatious.
Yeah.
So it's 3-room with a big balcony, and. And
by balcony, I'm assuming you mean
awning.
Yeah, an awning. Yep.
Yeah, balcony sounds better, Bruce. Yeah, but you've got all these little LED. So it's got its own battery pack and LED light strips in each room.
Of course,
that's pretty darn cool. And it's a blackout tent. So inside, when everything's zipped up, it's pitch black even in the daytime.
Nice.
Which A, keeps temperature down.
Yeah.
But B, if you want to sleep in a bit in the morning, and you're somewhere where it's light at 4:30, well, you want the kids to stay in bed. If you want to go out and do some shooting or something, or fishing. By shooting, I mean cameras. By fishing, I mean fishing.
Yeah.
And the thing weighs almost as much as in fact, it weighs pretty much exactly the same as the amount of weight I need to lose. And here's the bizarre thing: I had trouble picking the sucker up.
Yeah, right.
So it weighs so much I can't even lift it. I'm carrying it around every day.
Yeah, right. Wow.
Yeah, it's only 30 kilos. It's not
right.
Not much. Yeah, it's not much at all. What do you think we say it fast? Well, see, here's the thing though. I once lost 58 kilos in a day, Bruce.
Right.
I got divorced. This time I'm thinking, because I like the current wife, I thought I must take a leg off. Right. That'll lose some weight.
Right. Hers or yours?
Oh, yeah, good point.
Right.
Did you see my dad joke today? That was probably not quite a dad joke, but a joke that I met my wife on Tinder. That was awkward.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I do. After enough of my silly crap.
Yeah.
Your poor dad this week.
Yeah.
Terrible news, mate.
Mate, on one hand, I kind of think, yes, we knew this was coming, but on the other hand, it kind of came out of the blue as well. You know, he's not been well for a long time. He's been getting progressively worse. He wasn't managing his diabetes particularly well. And he contracted, just a well, he says it was a head cold or a flu or something, but that was 10 weeks ago, and he hadn't been able to shake it, and it just got worse and worse and worse. And his birthday was last, was whatever the 17th was. It was Tuesday or Thursday of last week, and I'd spoken with him on his birthday, and he was fine. And then in the last couple of days since he died, I've been speaking with his brother, who also lived in the same small town where I grew up, Bruce Rock.
Oh, Bruce Rock, yes.
And he said to me that he was talking to Dad on Saturday, and he sounded fine, sounded right as rain. He said, and then he said I was talking to him again on Sunday, and I could barely understand a word he was saying. He said, so I rang. They have a sister who lives a bit closer to where Dad was than where his brother was, and she came around and found him in his unit pretty much unresponsive, and threw him in the car and took him up to the hospital. And she rang me at a time when I was on my motorbike, and I got the message about 9 minutes later when I got home, and I checked my phone, and I rang them straight back, and basically what they'd said was the hospital wants to know, do we fly him to Perth to attempt resuscitation, or do we just keep him here in Bruce Rock and let him go peacefully?
Jesus, what a decision to have to make.
Yeah, and I said, look, I know damn well that he would not want to be, flown to Perth and put through God knows what sort of procedures to try and extend his life by what might be only a month or 6 months or whatever. I think he would, in all honesty, he would prefer to stay in the town he's lived in for the last 50 odd years and just let him go. I said, but I want to hear from my auntie and my uncle, because they're his two siblings. Yeah. And they both concurred with my assessment of the situation, so we unanimous.
Did they agree as well?
Yeah. So, well, that's the thing. He was trying to speak, but no one could understand him. But they did say he was shaking his head, when they talked about sending him to Perth. No. So,
So he was cognizant.
Yeah. So he was obviously, he could still hear what was going on, but couldn't form any words. And that was Monday afternoon, and then I got a text message from my auntie Margaret at about 6 o'clock on Tuesday morning saying he's gone. And I was like, wow, that was quick.
Yeah. Like my dad, he made the decision, and less than 24 hours later, it's like, whoa. That was much. I didn't even have time to prepare my mind for that. Yeah.
Pretty much the same.
And diabolical. You can't even travel, and
it's crap, And we were wondering what we were going to do with regards a service, and Kath came up with this idea last night, which I then put in an email and sent to my auntie and my uncle, the other two siblings, and the idea was that rather than having a service now, which I would miss, I've already missed seeing my nan's funeral. I said, how about we have the body cremated, and we get the ashes sent back to Bruce Rock to either one of you. It doesn't really matter who looks after them, and we just keep the ashes until such times as borders open and I can actually travel, and then Kath and I will come back to Bruce Rock, and we will then have a proper interment ceremony, where we get his ashes laid to rest at the cemetery. And I'm pretty sure he'd want to go into the cemetery at Bruce Rock because his mum and his dad are both buried there. So
of course, yeah.
So
no, I'm delighted. Not delighted. That's fabulous that you can do that, dude.
Yeah,
and that everyone agree that there's not a holdout against it.
No. They both said, look, we're more than happy to go along with whatever you want. As next of kin, it's totally your right, and we understand that you want to give him a proper farewell. And it's like, yeah, I do. So it's been a rough week. It's
astounding that it can go from being cognizant, sprightly sounding. But he'd been ill earlier and then sounding fine, and to that so quickly, it's remarkable.
But to bring up to tie this into photography, I sat down, which might seem like an odd decision to make, but the morning, on Tuesday morning after I'd heard the news, I sat down and recorded a video for my Darktable channel where I took the portrait of Dad and myself that was taken by his next door neighbour, just before I left Bruce Rock back in April of this year, and and processed that and put that up, and again it just reminded me, and several of my Darktable viewers have made the same comment again about just how important it is to get photographs of loved ones, particularly even though I didn't think he was this close to death's door. There comes a point where you go, I don't know if I'm going to see them again, and you want to make the most of those opportunities. You know what? That could be if they live 10 minutes up the street. It's the same thing. Exactly.
Life is a freaking uncertain place.
Yes.
It's you just have to take those advantages,
Totally.
And what's, again, amazingly lucky that you got to slip over there between all this lockdowns and stuff and border closures to be able to make that happen. I mean, it's turned out to be another blessing on a terrible situation, but another blessing that got to happen as well so recently.
Yeah, and not only, did I get to catch up with, my dad, but I got to catch up with my nan, and I got great portraits of both of them while I was there, and so, as you say, it was fortunate that I got there when I did, so.
Yeah. What a can of a week, dude.
Oh, yeah. So, and I've, for those who haven't worked it out yet, Glynn and I generally record this at 9 o'clock on a Thursday night, which is when we're recording this episode, and I've been up since 2:30 this morning because I worked 3:30 to lunchtime, so I'm running on empty at the moment. So
we're going to change it. We'll try and make time during the daytime for you, dude.
Okay, cool. That'd be good.
Yeah, I don't want to run you into the ground any worse. If I'm still going.
Yeah.
If I don't get the docs tomorrow and they go, I think we just better get the ambulance or the hearse.
Yeah. Adam Davidson, can you go and get a portrait of Glynn ASAP just in case?
Well, by the time this comes out, it might be too late. I'll do a selfie on the phone. Yeah.
There you go.
God. And this goes to all of us, as we were saying about, again, take a photo of your nan and your dad.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm not thinking this is the end, but I was thinking, if this is the end, what photos do the kids have of me?
Yeah.
And just before we came online, I'm thinking, hey, they've got hundreds of hours of crap they can listen to on my voice on this podcast going forward.
They have.
Because I've genuinely been thinking this week, I'd love to do some voice recordings or some video and write some words out to my kids.
Yeah.
If anything happens to me, play this on their 18th video, play this one on their 21st video, play this one if they're going overseas travelling for a year, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then writing out some favourite memories, all this sort of stuff. So that's sort of been playing in my mind a bit this week. So we'll say, as photographers, we don't get our photos taken enough.
Oh, ain't that the truth? I know very well. There's not many of me.
Yeah, and I mean real photos, not necessarily the posy studio, like which is lovely. The one you've got as your background, your
profile
avatar is lovely, but
it's contrived.
If you want your kids, especially me with young kids, they don't need photography; they need photos.
Yeah.
They need that's Dad at the barbecue or whatever it may be. That's what Dad was like at the beach. Those things that remind you of of them. Yeah, as I was looking this week through old family photos with my girls, just I'll go through from when I was a tiny kid, and there's 15 photos.
Oh, wow.
And they're all 3-inch by 3-inch size, and you're small and blurry and black and white, you know?
Yeah.
So it's nice to have the real photos, and I'm so glad I took those of my parents.
Yes.
But the things that mean the most are the real ones.
Yeah.
Them laughing at, we got Christmas morning photos for over a few years of family gatherings, and you see people laughing and smiling and in that moment, and they're the ones at the end of the day, photos are more important than photography.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's that thing. I did, I think I told you last time, I did this thing for World Photography Day.
Yeah.
Remember, I think I said I recorded it, but I hadn't seen what came out.
Oh, okay, yep.
So the video came out the next day, and there's about 5 or 6 of us doing these short little bits, but the way they put it together, so I had no impact in that. I just said my 3 little pieces,
right? And
the last one was me looking at the camera and saying something on the lines of, "Why is photography important to me?" And I'm holding a frame photo of my mum and dad. And it says it's because we can capture moments and be able to see people we'll never see in real life again.
Yeah,
And that had I got so many messages from people saying just brought tears to their eyes, Yeah, and it's true. I mean, these photos you took this last time you were there in Perth, I have so much more. They're always important, but they're so important to our family history now going forward. Your family history, the photos of my family going forward. And this is what we need to do more. This is. So we've been talking a bit lately about, is photography dead? Well, I think that, and actually this is all just coming to me live streaming in my head right now, and this is what I said about retail. It probably would have been 10 or 15 years ago. I was on a panel in Vegas talking about photo retail and where it's headed. And I said it's going two ways. Well, this is what's going to be like. There's going to be 2 things. There's going to be the most exclusive, fabulous, high-end, experience-type stores and environments and product. There's going to be the cheapest, nasty pieces of crap, and all the middle ground's going to die and disappear. And that's going to happen to photographers. It's going to happen to... If you're not the best, you're going to be the cheapest.
Yeah,
right. There's not a lot of mid-ground. And so we're talking about, is photography dying? The high-end, amazing, incredible art... That's individual, reflective, special moments. Maybe that's photos out of Afghanistan from this week, whatever it may be. The really high end stuff, the real people that are pushing the boundaries and not just photographing tents under a Milky Way.
Yeah,
and all the tents and Milky Way shots. So that's all the mid ground. That's just. But then the cheapest, what we consider the cheapest, is your phone snap of your kids, your phone snap of your mum and dad, your friends when you're. That's the important stuff.
Yeah.
The stuff that's taken the least amount of effort and thought becomes the most important. But unfortunately, we take 50,000 of them,
Yeah.
So that becomes a little bit of an issue. But, I mean, to give you an idea, my just looking at my phone right now, my normal camera roll has 21,350 photos in it. And that's after I did a big dump about 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff, a lot of those 21,000 are the photos that are important. The kids eating an ice cream at the ice cream shop in summer down at the beach.
Yep.
Sure, I could have taken my camera and set up and done better quality, but that's not the moment, is it?
No.
So it's funny how what is the least thought about, the least care taken, the least and the most taken could maybe become the most important. Yeah,
well, I think the spontaneity is a big part of that.
And the actual fact that you do it. Yes. Because everyone does that, Not everyone goes and gets a camera and takes the effort to take a proper photo, but most people will play out the phone, and even if it's a crappy snappy, they're still recorded. That's the fundamental thing, that when photography was first invented, people could see something from somewhere else. Yeah. Without having to go there for the first time ever, it's like, oh my god, and I think it's pretty incredible. So I'm actually maybe more buoyed about photography just thinking about that than I've been in a while. Not about actual taking proper photos with cameras and stuff, but the future of photography. But goodness, how we're ever going to be able to curate all this stuff? Yeah, and that's the big issue.
Maybe that's where the next big technological leap will come. Will be in data curation. I don't know, maybe there's potential there for some great leap forward that we just can't even comprehend at this point in time.
Well, I know GoPro, the video cameras, have their software has a feature that can automatically create a video from the best moments of that day that you filmed.
What?
Right, so it'll produce with wipes and fades and use all this stuff, all the key. Obviously it's not going to get everything right, but all the key moments of action and it just automatically.
Wow.
Which is exactly. That's kind of mind blowing.
Yeah.
You can certainly see how software could look at those 21,000 photos and pull out all the best ones that it thinks are the best ones. At least curate it down to 5 photos a day, or whatever it's going to be. That's an optional. You could choose to look at just that selection, and then you could do something with those because the management side of things has been taken care of, and it might not be perfect, but what are you going to do with 21,350 photos on your camera roll?
Exactly. When are you ever going to sit down and curate that manually? Yeah, never. Yeah. So a friend of mine down here called Carly Michael of the Michael's Camera fame. Yeah, she runs a business that is all about curating people's photos, really,
and boxes of albums, and organising all the digital data and all this. Very labour intensive. I know she's building the business at the moment. It's running from a US model, so maybe we'll get her on here one day when she's comfortable that it's ready to go properly, and we can have a chat to her about it and stuff.
Sure.
And my mate Mackenzie Hughes from Fort Worth Camera Store wants to come on the podcast and have a chat as well. So we've got another guest to talk to there.
Excellent.
And, so that'd be kind of let's get a few more voices on here. We can pose all these big questions. You know what we should do? We should have a standard set of questions,
right,
that we ask every guest.
Okay.
Yeah, just the same thing every week. Every time we have someone on, that gives us some insight into their viewpoint or something, and maybe we have to answer them too.
Right.
But if
it's the same question, then we're only going to have to answer it once, aren't we?
Oh, no, we have to answer it every time we have a guest on. No, of course it's only once. But I reckon that'd be kind of interesting to get a feel for people's perspective on stuff.
Absolutely.
That's the big questions, not just like what camera brand do you use, what's your favourite lens, that sort of crap. So then that's important.
I'm seriously getting frustrated reading the Sony Alpha users group on Facebook because every probably third post is someone going, "Oh, I'm going into wedding photography. What lens should I buy?" It's like, seriously, you're not ready for weddings.
I'm getting frustrated with the Subaru Outback Facebook page where every third question is, "What tyres should I get for my..."
Oh, jeez.
And it's always the same answers, but it's like every day or every 2 days, someone asks about the tyres.
Right.
Maybe it's the same. Maybe if you go to every single Facebook page of every subject, they've all got these same people asking these same questions. Maybe it's a bot.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. But that's it. Well,
the questions just reveal how little prepared the person is for the craft. And it's like, what business do you have offering to shoot somebody's wedding if you're coming into a group like this filled with other people
want to be wedding
dubious expertise and asking a question like that? Like, if you don't know what lens you need, you're not ready to shoot a wedding.
Yeah. You might not be ready for
But it's not always just weddings. Some people come in and go, "Oh, I want to shoot real estate. What lens?" It's like, oh, man.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable. Anyway.
And then all you're going to get is a whole bunch of opinions.
Exactly.
Which don't get you any closer to a solution.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Or it reaffirms your own bias.
Yes.
To buy the thing you wanted to buy in the first place before you ask the question.
Yeah.
Just go and buy the thing you want. I've said this for years, that if you lust after a particular piece of kit, lens, flash, camera, whatever, you cannot buy anything else from anyone else's recommendation.
No.
Doesn't matter how experienced that person's recommendation is, because you'll always be thinking, "Oh, this would have been better with that."
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to buy what your heart wants sometimes, you know?
Yep.
And it doesn't matter if it's wrong. You might end up buying twice and to buy something else down the track that does a better job. But
at
if
least
you've got your heart and soul...
your point.
Yeah. But if you've got your heart and soul in something, you've got to... you can't... You'll be second-guessing yourself for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
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 And it's a pretty bleak way to go about every photo you take, you're unsure because you thought it might have been better than the thing you really wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's people. I really want to shoot Nikon, but everyone's telling me to buy Sony. No, you've got to buy Nikon.
Yeah,
yeah. I've always wanted to shoot Canon. I was in a landscape photography Zoom call today with a guy called Brett Cook from Olympus, Australia.
Right.
We should get him on for a chat. Watching him, and it's the same thing. People asking all these same questions again over and over. And of course, he was biased all towards Olympus.
Right.
End result, of course. But this woman was saying, I want to buy an Olympus camera to be small and walk around, but I'm never giving up my Canon 5D Mark IV and stuff. I love that, but I want something small to carry around. And then all the other people in the call are jumping, oh, no, once you've had Olympus, you won't go back. It'll just sit in the corner. And she's laughing, oh, no, it won't. And, you've got to follow your heart, and if your heart says stick with this smaller form factor, or I've got to have this bigger one because that's when I feel like I'm taking real photos, or I feel subconsciously that I do better work when I use that camera, which is usually rubbish. It's just a psychological thing. You got to follow your heart on this stuff. And I say this so many times on when I do talks to groups. Are you doing this for a profession? And most of them say no. I said, then why are you making it so stressful?
Yeah.
why the hell are you you're so worried about other people's opinions, so worried about is this the right thing or the wrong thing? You're bringing your stress from your real life and putting it into your hobby.
Yeah.
I don't know why you do that. And that's case in point to you, because I know you enjoy taking photos.
Yeah.
I know you don't get to do it as much as you can, but you enjoy a mix of stuff to shoot, which is healthy and really good. And going out and shooting models is something you enjoy doing. But if you had to do it for a job, you'd hate it pretty quickly.
Yes.
Yeah. Because and all the pressure of having to produce would suck the fun out of what you enjoy doing.
Yeah. Well, it was after shooting the kidney car rally in 2014. Can you believe that's 7 years ago?
Oh my God.
I got all the daily memories on Facebook. You and Adam Davidson 7 years ago, blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
It was after that, and of course then I had that stress, anxiety attack where I got carted out of work in the back of an ambulance afterwards because I, just put myself under so much pressure with that gig that I made the decision, I do not want to pursue photography as a career because it will suck all the fun out of what is my hobby,
You'd have to take up golf to have fun.
That's right.
That's not going to work, is it? Yeah. But that's it. It's why on earth do you want to make your hobby so damn stressful?
Yeah.
And I know that some people's mindset thrive on that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's how they enjoy their hobby, by getting all the nitty gritty and stuff.
Yep.
And if that's the case, then that's perfectly valid. But for so many people are so stressed about their photography, it's kind of difficult to watch. You know? People are so worried about stuff.
Yep.
Anyway, so I'm making an executive call tonight, Bruce.
Okay.
That we're not going to do any other things. This is it. We're just having a little chat, just the two of us tonight.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I just I really feel that this is not that we just have a chat together, mate. After your dad and
thank you
storm of a week, and Sydney getting 1,000 cases a day today. I mean, it's been a tough week. I'm apprehensive in my own place, so let's just have this lovely chat together.
Yep,
and call it a night. You go get some sleep.
Yeah,
rest and relax.
I definitely need some sleep.
And next week we'll do a during the day podcast or something.
Okay,
and
that sounds great.
What we could do, just to change it up, is you could take like your whatever recording device you use into your truck, and we could record as you're driving around.
Mate, they still haven't got me driving the truck. I'm still loading crates.
It's just loading.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not as much fun, is it?
No, it's not. So I don't know when I'm going to be out in the truck. So anyway,
oh, dear. Oh, mate, you go and be good to yourself. Get some good night's sleep, and look after yourself.
Thank you, mate. And again, we wish you all the best with your doctor's appointment tomorrow.
Thanks,
which will be in the past. But yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll be good. It'll be fine.
Hopefully you'll have some good news to share next week.
Well, hopefully I'll be here to share it next week.
There we go.
All right, mate. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, you too, mate. Bye.
Talk soon.
You've been listening to Shutters Inc. For questions, comments, and feedback, email theboys@shuttersincpodcast.com.